All right, let's talk about click here. Let's see what we got so far. Okay, that's a pretty interesting sound. It's probably a little bit more sustainy than I would go for, but we have no song. Well, we got the drum here. So let's go ahead and add some click to this thing. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is turn on the attack. In the earlier videos, we've already set the detector. We know the detector's rocking, and we can check that at any time by hitting the listen button. That's what the detector's hearing because of the high pass and low pass and the gating we did before. We can always tweak that at any time, but just keep in mind that if we mess with this detector, it's going to affect what we've done before. And it's particularly important with the dive on the oomph and a few other little things. So I like to set it and forget it. But anyway, all right, so we're back to the turn off listen there, and we're back to the drum. Okay, now the click is a strange bird. It can do stuff that's awesome for metal kick drums, but it also can make claps for dance music and such. Because of that, it's going to be corny all the time somewhere on this grid. So it's really important to get a feel for this grid. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the direct signal and the oomph, so we're hearing just a click. Here it is in the center. Nothing too exciting there. And so let's go extreme. Well, I don't know if that's extreme. Here, I'll turn it up a little bit for you. I said extreme. Damn. Okay, so we'll just go to a different corner. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what in the world would I ever want that for? And some of these I don't have an answer for you because they're all horrible. Some of them are fun. So let's keep playing. And keep in mind, we are in the most extreme by going on these corners. I almost never use the full corners. Now that sounds like a clap. That sounds like something I like and I use. And I do use that. If you saw the audio sample I made where I was just generating a snare bottom, I used something along those lines and sent that to a reverb. It was an awesome reverb for real drums. Anyhow, so there's definitely use in that. Now here's part of the problem. The default settings, there are 2 low-pass resonant filters here. And why on earth would we want that? Well, we'll get to that, but for now, let's just turn the frequencies all the way up. What you're going to hear is a lot of like 15K stuff. We're generally not used to hearing those kind of sounds. So you've got to be really careful here. This is what it sounds like with no EQ. I wish it had an on and off button, to be honest, but it's basically like white noise or something. Okay, so now we can use this filter, and the focus is just resonance. So let's turn the resonance all the way down on both of them. So there's a lot of options tonally for there. Now, on this click thing. So now let's kind of take a more conservative approach because the extreme settings are always kind of a little weird. This bottom right quadrant, I find myself using a lot for real drums, toms, kick drums, things of that sort. So we get more sustain if we go the other 3, but something about being here, it's short and its attack is good. Not everybody is going to want, all that 15K type stuff. I'm a big fan of In Flames Clayman, and they've got a lot of that kind of 12 to 15K stuff going on, real clicky type of stuff in their kick drum. That wasn't a good example, by the way. But not all people are going to want that. Some guys come from more of the 2K or 5K range. And, of course, we can get that pretty straightforwardly by yanking the filter down and cranking it up a little bit. So we can go pretty dark here if we feel like it. We can use a focus here to add resonance to create a bump around this cutoff frequency of about 3600. Let's hear that. So you can get sharper. And we'll go to this number. It almost hurts when we get it that high, but that's a really cool way to enhance the emphasis of that, that stick click. And I love using a little bit of a resonance. Of course, we can use none and just kind of knock off the crappy stuff. Let's go up to the more sustaining one. All right, now let's knock off a lot of that annoying top end, like that ultra high and stuff. Now, if we want, then we can use a very resonant filter down here to bring some of that back in. It's not normal to have 2 low-pass filters, but the creative possibilities of doing something like this, if you fully understand resonance or focus, is a really cool thing. And again, if you don't understand resonance, shoot me an email. I got to make a video, but for now, I just have to send you guys to me. All right, so let's play this thing in context. So really, your only options are, you got anywhere in this box, and then you've got 2 low-pass filters. That's pretty much it. I'm not shy about EQing after the fact, and I have no problem with using processing after Sasquatch, but I like to get as close as I can with Sasquatch, and I usually can. Okay, so let's listen to what we got. Crazy. Cool. All right, so we're going to click on this edit, and let's go with like a darker clap sound. And I highly recommend you do this with music playing. Right now, you can sit around and analyze, like, what is the best kick drum? Well, you'll never get that way without having a musical goal. So I highly recommend you have your other tracks going and kind of have an idea what you want and just go for it. Right now, we're just kind of goofing around, but so it's kind of hard to say that this sound is better than this sound. And, it just really depends on the music. Okay, so that covers click. We've got a quadrant where we can select a variety of tones, or subtle variations of all of those. We've got 2 identical filters, which have options for resonance and frequency. Very bright, very dark. Or we can add focus to increase the resonance. Or we can use one filter to kind of just lightly knock off the top end. And then we can crank up the resonance on the other filter and add some of it back, peaky stuff back in. The click is very powerful. You've been warned.